Hi everyone, welcome back to another gameplay of BTD6. So finally the Halloween update is alive, the 28.0 patch, and as always I'm gonna go through the patch notes, trying to analyze the key features, the new stuff, new maps, new skins, and the balance changes on the towers, and I'm gonna just give you guys my impressions about this patch. So the new features are the fact that bosses now are available on co-op. There will be a ranked boss leaderboard. So if you go into the boss, you can see right here there is ranked mode. See? So now if you play with this mode activated, you can compete with other players in the leaderboard to see which is your fastest time. So how much time you take to destroy all tiers on the boss. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Then there is the new boss that has been added, Leech the Clipboard, and you can also find it right here. It's alive. And now this boss has very interesting features because of the fact that, of course, it's different from Nerfs, and it's gonna drain buffs from your towers, other than bosses, other than heroes, of course. Heroes are immune to this drain effect. And then when you reach the skull level, so when you damage it and you reach the skull level on the HP, he's gonna become immobilized. So I think he's gonna become untargetable, immobilized, and he's gonna revive these undead mob class Bloons, plus these Leech souls, and therefore you're gonna need to destroy these mobs are here, these Leech souls, to be able to keep on damaging the boss in this state until it can go back to normal state, so you can keep on damaging it. And yeah, so he can revive all Bloons other than, of course, BADs. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And the last new feature is the new Paragon for the ninja in this case. So yeah, very nice. Now there's also a new beginner map called the Cabin, a new skin for Sauda, Viking Sauda, some new achievements, new boss music track, some new trophy store items, and limited time items on the trophy store if you're gonna purchase them before the Halloween Day event is over. And yeah, you can find all these things on the main map. So we're gonna just take a look now at Sauda skin. This one right here is gonna cost 2500 monkey money. So here we go. Pretty dope, a pretty dope skin here, having the axes rather than having the swords. So I like this skin already a lot just because of this. And then we can find right here instead the Ninja Paragon. Of course, in order to unlock it, you're gonna need to have all Tower 5 unlocked, and in this case it's gonna cost 1 million experience. So you need to have 1 million experience stacked on your ninja overall to be able to unlock it. And here we go. So this is how it looks like. And then finally is the new map. So this is the new map right here, Cabin. So I'm gonna just take a look at it briefly to see how it works. And like, it should be pretty easy because it's like a beginner map. So I think like the Bloons are gonna come from this top left corner. They're gonna just follow the path. There is some water here, so you can place like subs if you want to, or buccaneers, or any water-based tower. The Bloons are gonna just follow here the path, so very simple. Let's see if there are some obstacles. So this house right here, it's considered an obstacle. Also the car, but you can still place towers like around the center. Here, here as well. So these trees as well are considered obstacles. And then let's see if you can remove. Yeah, you can actually remove the car. So you can actually now have the line of sight available, and you can place towers there. But I think you can't remove the this house, right? So it seems like you can't remove anything else. Let's see the trees. No, not even this one. No, so it seems that you can't remove anything else. Now I don't know exactly what happens in round 40. Maybe the mob is gonna follow a slightly different path. I don't know yet, but yeah, by first approach I think this map work is pretty interesting, but should be pretty easy as well. And then yes, as I showed you before, this is the new boss, as always on normal and elite. And now you can see the leaderboards active, depending if you're defending it by yourself or if you are playing in co-op. Yeah, for both normal and elite. So I think this is minutes, right? Now it's pretty interesting, like 3 minutes. Like this guy was able to go past the first 40 rounds in 3 minutes. I don't know how he did it, but well, I guess he was pretty quick. And then here you can see the rewards for the leaderboards. So depending on your positioning on the leaderboard, you can see top percentage, or if you can get into the top 50, you can gain more trophies, more. And then here, I don't know what these things are. Seems like maybe some kind of power, but yeah, it's just some more stuff if you want to complete on the leaderboards. And as well, I don't know if this is going to be split in terms of tiers, like how much time you take to complete the first tier, the second tier, and so on, or if it's just how much time you take to complete the first one. But yeah, it's just something new. Then some just review map, some quality of life addings, so that you can just have more stats available and you can check your games more. Some bug fixes here. I think nothing worth mentioning, other than some bugs or things that shouldn't be, that weren't working properly, that now they have fixed them. And I think the most important things are the fact that Path level 3 and Brickles level 3 are gonna pause between rounds, so you're gonna not anymore lose the buff if you don't start the next round right away. So it's gonna be pretty nice. And now finally we come into the balance changes. Now the main two things are gonna be camo prioritization and store farming. Now camo prioritization is this feature that will be unlocked for all the towers have somehow ability to attack camos, and you can decide to activate it, so to put it on or off. If you have it activated, if you enable this filter, you can see that the selected target is gonna combine with camo prioritization. And they make an example here. If you have this feature active and you have your tower on strong, that means that strong camo will work through all camos in strength order. So for example, starting from camo ceramics, then camo rainbows, camo zebras, and so on. Then they're gonna revert to normal strong until any new camos show up. And therefore you have to be careful how you use it, because of the fact that if there are some very weak camos in the screen, maybe like greens or yellows or pinks, and you have ceramics, normal ceramics coming out at the same time, if you have this feature active, your tower might ignore completely the ceramics and it's gonna just attack the camos. So yeah, I think it's a very nice feature, but at the same time you have to be careful how you use it. And yeah, so that's just it. And then another thing is that they have completely, or actually almost completely, shut down the store farming. Now there is only a 3-minute timeout, so you only have 3 minutes to keep on using your cash generating abilities. Otherwise, after this period, you will not be able to generate any more cash. And this was because of the fact that players were just abusing this infinite stalling on especially the bosses and the elite boss. And they were just delaying so much the rounds before the boss came out to just be able to afford a ton of upgrades and to be able to just farm like crazy. And now unfortunately this is not available anymore. You have 3 minutes, so for each round you have only 3 minutes where you can generate cash. Then you will not be able to do it anymore. So that's pretty much it. And then jumping into the tower's specific changes. Well, you can see that here, the second upgrade in the bottom path for the monkey is gonna now have this camo prioritization filter that you can activate or not. Some changes here to the paragon, so that there is bitrate. It just improves the bitrate. For the boomerang, very nice. Some buffs overall for the boomerang. You can see the third upgrade in the middle path deals now more damage to mob classmates, so 1 extra damage. The crosspath in the bottom with the 052 boomerang now deals even more damage. This is because of the fact that normally like the best crosspath is 250. So I think they are trying to buff even more now the other crosspath, so that maybe players will start using 052. But I still think that the extra pierce you get from the first upgrade is much more valuable than getting more damage. So that's why I still think despite this extra damage, that 250 is still better. Then the 5th upgrade in the bottom path has more damage on hit on mob classmates, so 5 extra layers of damage. And then some buffs here overall to the Paragon. The burn damage over time, the shred damage over time, and the rotating glaives base damage. So you can see here doubled, this is 3 times higher, and this is more than double. So yeah, a lot of buffs to the Paragons, at least for the boomerang. On the bomb, I would consider this already a nerf because of the fact that the base bomb price has been decreased, but now Mauler is more expensive. So especially if you were building bombs just to get Maulers, this is overall a nerf because you can see that this is 75 cash less expensive, but then Mauler is 200 cash more expensive. So overall, you need to spend 125 more cash to get the Mauler. So yeah, it's gonna be now more expensive to build them, and this of course is price applied to normal, so that means that on hard or improbable this is even higher, so this difference in cost is even higher. A cool thing though, and a pretty nice buff, is the fact that now Frag Bombs, so the second upgrade in the bottom path, is gonna grant Fraggy explosions, which allows all explosions from the tower to pop black balloons. So now with a 002 bomb you can pop black balloons, and this is a huge buff because of the fact that one of the main problems with bomb early game is the fact that you cannot pop black balloons, and now with the 002 bomb you can. So it's gonna be pretty nice to see, for example, like 204 bombs or 032 bombs, so Maulers that can at the same time pop black balloons and zebras. So yeah, it's gonna be nice. Then for the Ice Tower, they are now giving Camo detection to the second upgrade in the top path. And of course the upgrade now is slightly more expensive and has a different name. And now with the 4th upgrade, that before it was the one that granted Camo detection, the 4th upgrade now can target and debuff mob class balloons, but will not anymore slow them. So it's a little bit of adding some buffs or changing where the buffs are. And then at the same time nerfing a little bit the towers. And you can see that the bottom path instead the price has been increased for the 1st upgrade, for the 2nd, and for the 3rd. So everything now is just slightly more expensive. For the sniper, there is a huge nerf on the bottom path of the sniper, and this I think was to limit the fact that players, by building a 0-5 sniper, they were able to just go through the first 60 rounds without really doing anything. So I think they have nerfed it so that players will not be able to do it. And now you can see that both the 004 sniper and 005 sniper, the damage type is changed to sharp. So that means that you cannot pop black balloons anymore with the sniper, not even with the 5th upgrade. And therefore, if you want to be able to pop black balloons, you're gonna need to go for a 105 elite defender or 205, but not anymore 025. So this is, in my opinion, a huge nerf, exactly like it happened for Tag Zone, that Tag Zone cannot anymore pop black balloons. Again, this is the same, but now for the sniper. Of course, if you have an Alchemist giving the Mexodip or any other ways to pop black balloons, you don't have to worry. But now the sniper cannot solo anymore because you can't pop black balloons. Or you can if you go for the 205 upgrade, but you're losing a lot of the benefits from the sharple. So I don't know really how stronger or how useful it could be getting a 205 sniper. But yeah, that's the huge nerf. Instead, on the other hand, the middle path has been buffed, in my opinion.
you can see that once again the second upgrade in the middle path has the Camo prioritization filter. Of course, the cash generating abilities now have 3-minute timeout, and this was the same we talked about earlier. And now you can see that the cooldown has been increased for the ability, but now the ability is gonna drop more cash. It's gonna drop always a flat 1200 cash rather than dropping a weird random number between 500 and 1000. So that's pretty nice. And the 5th upgrade now is gonna produce a flat 3000 cash. So even if the cooldown is gonna be longer for the 4th upgrade and therefore for the 5th one, but the fact that it is gonna give now more cash, it's gonna always be the same amount of cash. In my opinion, it's a huge buff. And you can see that now Shuffle can benefit from any external buffs, so Alchemist, Mixodip, and so on. But now Bouncing Bullets will no longer be able to receive these external buffs. So you cannot increase, for example, with an Alchemist or with a Village, the amount, so the number of bounces. It's always gonna be 3. So yeah, that's it. And as well, they are reducing the cost of the 4th upgrade in the bottom path because of this nerf. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Sniper. For the Buccaneer, now the 1st upgrade in the bottom is gonna also grant 1 extra pierce, so that's pretty good. Once again, 2nd upgrade is gonna have the new Camo prioritization filter. And now the 4th upgrade will not longer stack the Sellback buff on other towers. So you will be able only to have 1 stack. So you're gonna be able to have, like with 1 Buccaneer, you're gonna be able to sell the other towers for more cash. But that's it. If you place more than 1, you're not gonna be able to stack it. On the Ace, some overall like buffs and nerfs at the same time, because of the fact that the top upgrade has been buffed. You can see that the pierce of the missiles have been increased. On the 3rd upgrade, the 4th remains 4, so it remains the same. The 310 now, so the cross path, is gonna increase even more the pierce, so from 4 to 6. And the radius also has been increased, so they affect a larger area. And at the same time, the 4th upgrade and the 5th upgrade with a cross path in the middle are gonna also have now more pierce. And at the same time, you can see that in the bottom path instead, the Spectre deals more damage to ceramics, but has less pierce. So it's half less pierce, but it's double damage. So overall, it would mean that it would stay the same. It should stay the same because you do more damage. So you double damage, but you have half less pierce. So it should stay overall the same, but unfortunately it just doesn't work linearly like that. So it's gonna be, I will need to run some tests to see how worse now the Spectre is because of this less pierce. And you can see that as well the bombs now, so not only the darts but also the bombs now do more damage, but the pierce is reduced as well. So and now on the middle cross path you can see 014 bombs, they're gonna lose less pierce. So rather than having 30 pierce, they're gonna have 45 pierce. So now the middle path also increases the pierce for the bottom cross path, and also the radius you can see has been increased. So yeah, some buffs here overall to the middle path cross path, and yeah, that's it. For the heli, again here the same as for the Sniper, so the fact that cash generating abilities will have a 3-minute timeout on the same round. And now the crates are gonna drop both life and cash at the same time. The cooldown is longer. The cash drop is increased once again to a flat number, it's gonna be 1800. The lives also is always flat, in this case it's gonna be 10, because every time you use it, it's gonna drop both cash and lives. So that's why the number of lives is less. And with the 5th upgrade, now the amount of cash is 4500, and the amount of lives for each crate is 25. So yeah, it's overall, I would say it's a pretty good nerf, even if the cooldown is longer. But the fact that you have both lives and cash at the same time, you have more cash. I would say that it's better.
And then as well, a passive added to the third upgrade on the bottom path. Now the mob shove is gonna gain this mini heli missile that is gonna have like 10 pierce and 1 damage. And with the fourth upgrade, you increase this pierce to 30 and this damage to 3. So you like increase it by 3 times. On the mortar, they're buffing the burny stuff, so the damage over time is gonna last longer, and the interval is reduced. So this means that now each burny stuff can destroy 3 layers. It's going to destroy 3, it's going to have 3 overall ticks, you can see here, rather than having 2. So it's just 1 extra layer overall that you can destroy. And on the 5th upgrade, this interval is reduced to 0.75 seconds, so you should be able to proc it 5 times, right? 5 ticks, I think, if I calculate correctly. So it should be 5 times, so you should destroy 5 layers rather than destroying 3. And with Monkey Knowledge, this buff amount is even further reduced. So because of the Monkey Knowledge point, so yeah, you can see that you're gonna be able to stack it a lot more times. So you're gonna be able to do more damage overall with the burning stuff. On the Darkling Gunner, a nice buff on backshot. Now the attack cooldown is reduced, so you're gonna be able to fire more often. And a huge buff to the Ray of Doom base damage. You can see here it's 5 times higher, but now it doesn't have any mob damage bonus. So overall, like the damage to mobs is exactly the same as before. It's 25, because before it was 5 plus 20, and that's 25, right? Now it's 25 flat, but not only for mobs, but also for overall Bloons. So you do a lot more damage to non-mob class Bloons. And also the shock damage over time has been increased to extra 5 layers, so it's pretty nice. On the Wizard as well, some buffs on the middle path. So for the activated abilities for the Phoenix, the cooldown, you can see it has been reduced for both the 4th and the 5th upgrade. To 45 seconds, so now it's flat, 45 seconds flat. The damage has been increased by 1, and also the pierce has been increased by 4 for the 4th upgrade. And instead for the 5th upgrade, the ball is gonna have more range, it's gonna be able to travel further. And then as well as for all the other camo towers, now the 2nd upgrade in the bottom is gonna have this new camo prioritization filter. And as well, the Necromancer bonus grave after round 81 has been reduced. So rather than now having 13, it's gonna have 10. So you're not gonna be able to stack that quickly or that easily the insane amount of Bloons inside the graveyard for the Necromancer. So yeah, that's it. For the Super Monkey, again, the same stuff as for quality of life. So they're trying to reduce the projectile size so that you can see more of the map. That was a huge thing, especially on the boss battles, because like you had so many things on the screen that you weren't really clearly able to see anything. Now the 2nd upgrade is gonna as well have the camo prioritization filter. Dark Knight, now the slow amount of ceramics has been decreased by 10. Bloons and ceramics, so a little bit less slow. And instead with the Dark Champion, with the 4th upgrade, you gain once again that extra 10%, so you have a 100% slow. Ninja, of course, we saw the Paragon before. The Ninja is gonna have already 000, the camo prioritization filter, and Master Bomber very nicely deals even more damage with the bomb, so double damage with that. For the Alchemist, this is just a change of life, I think, because of the fact that now the Mixodip will no longer target glue gunners, because like glue gunners, even with the Mixodip, like they cannot pop Bloons, so it was like pointless giving the Mixodip to the glue gunners, and that's why the Alchemist will no longer give it to the glue gunners. Then here for the Druid as well, a lot of different buffs overall for the top path, and then something for the middle path. You can see that here now the first upgrade in the top is gonna grant the Druid to pop all Bloon types, so you can also pop Bloons. So this is a huge thing that you could be able to use in the early game, in case you might need a tower that has pretty decent damage against like overall Bloons.
and that can pop like lab Bloons. That's pretty nice. Then here the third upgrade in the top path, the blowback. So on the tornado, right, the blowback distance, the minimum distance has been increased to 100 from 33, but the maximum blowback distance is now 200. So the Bloons are gonna be traveling from a minimum of 100 to a maximum of 200 in terms of distance. Yeah, so that's just it. The radius also is larger for the tornado, so you should be able to get more Bloons to like push them backwards. The fifth upgrade is less expensive, but still I would say this is way too expensive, like to be able to use it on chimps. Then the third upgrade, the middle path, now it has this extra buff. The fact that when you're gonna drop it and you're gonna be able to pop the Bloon, you're gonna leave these spiky thorns on the ground that are gonna do 1 layer of damage, 30 pierce, and the pierce is refreshed every 0.3 seconds, and therefore you do even additional damage with this. With the fourth upgrade, now you can proc 2 different vine grabs, so that's a huge buff because you can like attack 2 Bloons at once. The cooldown has been increased to 60. Here it says reduced, but it's increased, so 60 seconds now the cooldown. And as well as it was for all the other casual raiding abilities, now it has 3-minute timeout on a single round. And you can see that the cash amount has been increased to 240, and the cash bonus per farm in radius also has been increased. So this is gonna make the Druids start like gaining more cash, but the cooldown is longer. So that's just it. Then here's also some buffs on the bottom path of the banana farm. You can see now the cross path on the bank 032 is gonna collect automatically at the end of the round as soon as it's completely full. Then the first upgrade now is gonna salvage bananas for 50%, and with the second upgrade now the value is increased to 85%, so you're only losing 15% if you don't collect the bananas. And as well, the second upgrade now is going to increase the farm's sellback, so you're going to be able to sell the farm for more cash, from 80% of the total cost, not 70. And finally, the fifth upgrade in the bottom path also is going to generate 10 lives per round, so it's just that. I don't remember how many lives it was generating before, but now it's going to generate like 10. Now the Spike Factory, once again they're trying to buff the top cross path like 105, trying to buff even more the pierce, but I would still say that 0 to 5 is still the best cross path to go. Fifth upgrade, once again the price is decreased on the top path, but it's still super expensive. And the small explosion pierce has also been increased on the top path, but I would say that this is still way too expensive to be able to use it on any normal scenario. And then finally, here the village, the fifth upgrade in the top path is gonna increase by 20% the cooldown buff. So the abilities are gonna recharge even faster. You're gonna be able to use even more sooner the abilities. So yeah, it's very good. Of course your primary abilities. And then here Benjamin, with the level 3 you can no longer increase the damage from the paragons. And then a lot of changes to Azili. I wasn't really expecting this, but they are really trying to buff Azili. And you can see that the damage over time can no longer stack. So if you attack with the same Bloon with Azili, you will not be able to stack the damage over time. But at level 8 she's gonna gain an on-hit extra damage on mobs of 20, so that's 20 layers of damage. And at the same time the dot damage per tick to mob class Bloons has been increased. So so every time that like the damage over time effect kicks in, you're gonna be able to damage 10 extra layers on the mob. So this is overall an increase. You can see here from 20 that it was before. Of course before you were able to stack it, so I don't know how this damage applied with the extra stacking, but now you have a 20 on hit plus 30 on the tick. So that's 50 damage from 20 that was before. So I would say that it's a pretty good buff. And not only that, at level 12 this on-hit damage on mobs become 30, so from 20 to 30. And the damage over time duration increases by 50%, so it's gonna be able to affect the Bloons for much longer. So this is a huge buff. And then at level 20, this on-hit damage on mobs is now 50. And see that here is damage bonus. So this means that you're gonna be able to do the base damage plus this extra on-hit damage. So it's even higher than this amount. So yeah, Zilly really is gonna start doing a ton of damage to these mobs, and I'm looking forward to see how stronger she can be, especially like against mob classrooms and against the boss battles. So yeah, that was pretty much the patch notes. So yeah, it's very interesting, and definitely I will need to start testing some things out on the game to see like the towers, how they're gonna fare out now and how they are compared to before. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and see ya. Bye bye.